All right, this is Geometry Lesson 1-4, Part B of the lesson. One topic we have to talk about today are congruent angles. You probably haven't heard the word congruent, or you've heard the word congruent just recently. Congruent angles are angles that have the same measure. Remember what congruent stands for? It stands for two things being the same. And so that means that if the measure of angle A and the measure of angle B are equal, then angle A and angle B are congruent. Remember, we use the congruent symbol when we don't actually know exactly how much two things are. We just know that they are the same. We use M and the equal sign together when we're talking about how much something specifically is. All right, so here we have some synchronized swimmers. When you are synchronized swimmer, your bodies form angles. And what you need to do is you need to find the measure of some of these angles in here. So what we're specifically looking for is what is KLM if GHJ is 90. So we're going to find GHJ in our picture. That's down here. Angle of their arm and their body, that's 90 degrees. Now notice, it's hard to tell on mine, but on your picture you might be able to notice that has two congruent markers. That's important. That's when you have an angle like that, it has two markers, that means anything else that has any other angles that have two marks like that are congruent to them. So now we're going to go and we're going to find angle KLM. KLM is on the other side of that swimmer's body, and if you notice, KLM has two of those arc marks just like GHJ did, which means that if they both have the same amount of marks, that they are congruent. And so if GHJ is 90, that means that the measure of KLM, it must be the same thing. It's going to be 90 degrees. Pause the video and try B on your own. You can now check your answer with mine. I noticed they both had one of those arc marks, so they're congruent, meaning that's why I put the congruent sign down. So the measure of angle DEF must be 49 degrees as well. All right, so this is kind of an important postulate. It's called the angle addition postulate. We talked about the segment addition postulate a few days ago, but this is the angle addition postulate. It says if you have two angles, angle AOB and angle BOC, where A is in the interior of angle AOC, then their measures equal the measure of that entire angle. Basically, it's saying if you can take an angle, if you can take this big angle AOC and you can cut it up into two parts, AOB and BOC, and those two parts together get you the whole thing. This theorem is a big deal. We will use it a lot. So it says, using the angle addition postulate, if the measure of angle RQT is 155, what are the measures of angle RQS and MTQS? Let's find these angles. RQT is this entire angle. It's 155 degrees. Well, RQS and TQS, those are two angles that make up the entire thing, which means that together they should be 155 degrees. So we can take their measures, which are these expressions, and we can add them up. We know that the measure of angle RQS plus the measure of angle TQS should give us the measure of the whole thing, RQT. Now we just put in their values where they are. So RQS we know is 4x minus 20. We put that in its place. We substitute it. We know that TQS is 3x plus 14. And we know that RQT is 155 degrees. Now we just start solving for x. So we combine our like terms, 4x and 3x give me 7x. Negative 20 plus 14 gives me a negative 6. That equals 155. Add 6 to both sides. 7x equals 161. Divide both sides by 7, and x is 23. Now, I often say this is geometry, not algebra, so you found x, but you're not done because that's not actually what the question asks for. It asks for the measure of RQS and the measure of TQS. Go take that 23, plug it in. RQS is 4x minus 20, so we go 4 times 23 minus 20. That's going to give us 72. So the measure of angle RQS is 72 degrees. We do the same thing for TQS. 3 times 23 plus 14, we get 83. So the measure of angle TQS is 83 degrees. These are our two answers. You can just double check that and make sure you did it right. If you add up those two angles, they should give you 155, and 72 plus 83 does. So we are done. That was lesson 1-4. The objective for today was to find and compare measures of angles.